fishing.
If you were going to decide to collect watches, well, the holy grail would be to find a watch actually unsold in the original box. This is not quite that, but almost. It is in the original box. It has all the original paperwork, and it is a style that I'm interested in. That is, it has a US half-dollar coin as a face itself. I have another watch that I bought decades ago with a very similar face that I would like to restore, and it was nice to find this one that I could take a look at and at least find out what kind of battery it takes and so on and so on. Now this one was sold not running, meaning it needed a new battery, and the batteries for this are still available. They happen to be Seiko batteries. Now, the American coin watch collection here was made with several faces. There was a Walking Liberty Standing Eagle half-dollar, and this is the reverse of that. There was the Liberty Bell Franklin half-dollar. There was the Kennedy half-dollar, the Indian Head penny, and the Mercury dime, used as faces. I have not yet seen an Indian Head penny watch, nor have I seen the Mercury dime, but I have seen on eBay both versions of the half-dollar, the Liberty Bell and the Walking Liberty. And I think this one is probably the most popular. Now the one I have is marked Waltham on the back. This one is not. It's marked Britannia. Some other things are different, as you will see shortly. The question is, are these in fact the same watches? At a glance, it would appear so, but closer inspection reveals some significant differences. One, the lugs here are different shapes. This one is smaller. This one also has a prominent groove in it. The numerals are different systems. This uses Roman numerals. This uses Arabic numbers. However, the hands and the face itself looks identical. When you make up a watch, you don't want to bother with changing the case willy-nilly, because this is the most expensive part of the present watch to produce, is actually the case castings rather than the quartz works inside. So you don't want to mess with this very often. On the reverse sides of the watches, the lugs become much more prominently visible. And you can see how on the Britannia marked watch, the lugs are much larger. Also, the crown is much larger. So, yeah, something's going on differently, besides the stamping itself. Now, the watch I've worn for years, you can see how scratched the back is, but you can make out on it perhaps the name Waltham. And also it's listed as an XCC 8012 2039, stainless steel back, 377, base metal bezel. So that's what it says on the back. We managed to get the back off the watch using a small carving chisel that I had. Now, the interior mechanisms of the watch are identical. And also, the interior of the back of the case was marked Made in Hong Kong. So these were made by the same company, marked with different brands. And so, no, this is something apparently started with that company in Hong Kong, rather than started with a U.S. company in the U.S. and then was later copied. No, the Hong Kong folks did this all the way, I think. But it's still an interesting watch. In a later video, I'll actually replace the battery and see if it will run with the existing mechanism. Now, this mechanism itself is still available for about $10. So if I can't get it to work and clean it, which is possible that I can't, then I will be able to buy the new movement and put it in. But now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.